They'll do the. No need for a countdown. Who needs countdowns anyway? We don't count down to things. Everything is instant. Everything is right
It's
off.
boom.
It's boom in your face. Here we go. At episode number 65. This podcast is so old it has an AARP card. That's how many episodes it's got. We're clocking it.
Wild.
We're getting the senior citizen discount soon enough. That's how old it is. Today we got our lovely friend, our Dolphins aficionado, Diamond Snedeker. We had some big Dolphins money moves being made, so of course he is on to lay down the lay of the land of the law with some fascinating, intrepid, inquisitive things about the Miami Dolphins, and then we'll probably spitball some other things as well. I'm sure that there will be other small things, especially with the All-Star weekend going on this weekend. I'm sure you've got some thoughts on that, but we gotta go into the big ones, of course. I mean, how we feeling?
Well, I can tell you it's been a roller coaster of emotions being a Miami Dolphins fan since I've been born. A lot of ups and downs. Really went up in 2022 or 23, whenever it was, when we traded for Tyreek. Off season, we were, getting guys like Jalen. It seemed like the first time in a long time. And then things have just gone downhill from there. And as you all know, fired our GM middle of the season, let Mike McDaniel go. It's looking like we're going to let Tua go. We just released Tyreek Hill. And so, yeah, a lot of emotions going on in the locker room for me personally. But I like the direction we're going. I feel like we're kind of just bringing in everybody from the Green Bay Packers. But that's something that I'm okay with. I like the Green Bay Packers culture. They usually stay – they don't win Super Bowls all the time, but they stay in the green, which I like. I want to just be relevant. I want to be a team that's not expected to do bad, can just have a good culture, and I'm hoping that that's what the Green Bay boys can do moving forward.
Especially starting off with – I mean, we entered the season. Miami kicks off 0-3. Slow start to the – I think they at one point lost to like a Carolina team very early.
Yeah, that was a rough loss. We were up 17-0 at halftime.
Have that sort of going into the year, and then Mike McDaniel has his stretch down where he kind of looks like the team is playing at a somewhat adequate level, getting outside shot in the mix. And then towards the end, I mean, blowout loss to Cincinnati, tough loss on the road, Pittsburgh on Monday night. I think that that feels like
it was the loss to Pittsburgh. I think that really that was the crumble. Didn't look terrible at first, and then Tua just. I mean, it was a rough watch. Not that Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's got a good defense too, but it's. I mean, the guy just can't perform in the cold. Game plan looked terrible. And I personally, I mean, a lot of people don't like Mike McDaniel. I personally don't have the biggest, vendetta against him. I think he does have a football mind. I just don't know if he's fit to be a head coach. He was for a couple of years, but then he got figured out, snap of a finger. I mean, you can only throw the deep ball at Tyreek Hill so long. Teams are going to figure it out. And then it's like when Tua can only have one read, I mean, it's just not that hard to, beat. And that's why I think he had to go. Tua, he hasn't gotten traded or let go yet, but I think he'll be next out the door. I'm hoping we can find a trade suitor because that is a hefty contract to take on the hit. But also cutting the guys that we have, that cleared up some cap space as well. So hopefully that hit won't really be as hard. But we're just going to have to see.
With Tua, I guess with Tua and McDaniel, so from what you're seeing, it feels like the kind of Dolphins team started off being able to get sneak playoffs, being able to get into those wild card positions, not quite contesting for the. Where do you put the falter Miami's fall off? Would it be more centered around Tua, or would it be closer to Mike McDaniel not getting personnel right?
Oh, that is such a great question. I don't know. I think there's almost I trying to think of a way to say it. It's almost like I feel like I've seen NBA teams get or coaches get fired when it's the team you have and the team's effort you have isn't really going to get them anywhere anyways. NFL, and that's only 12 guys. NFL, it's 53. Well, obviously not on the field, but 53 total guys. You have tons of coaches. I mean, I think you've got to put a little bit of blame on everybody. There was times where I watched games where I saw play calls where I'm like, dude, that is like absolutely ridiculous. Like, running the ball right up the middle on 4th and 2. Or I'll never forget the game we were playing. I think Washington this year. It was overtime, and we got the ball first. We weren't going to score a touchdown, but Mike McDaniel went for it on like the 2 or 3 yard line, which I could understand. Hey, you want it, but like you're not even going to win the game. Like Washington gets the ball anyways. Now I get like if you kick a field goal, they go down and score, the game's over. But like he kicked a field goal, or no, I'm sorry, he went for it, didn't get it, and thankfully we were playing against Mariota. He threw a dumb pass pick. We end up kicking a field goal and winning, and he's looked at as like this awesome coach where it's like he can take the points to go up 3. Now I get analytics has really become a crazy center in football, which I personally am not a fan of. I'm old fashioned, points on the board, go up when you can, punt the ball on 4th down unless you're maybe, deep in enemy territory and you got, but like, it was just his decisions on 4th down where I didn't really agree with. But then I also think, too, as well, just doesn't look the same as 2023. Like, he had some great looks. I will say, he hasn't always had the best O line. And I think a combination of the bad O line, Mike McDaniel's personnel playbook, whatever you want to call it, has made Tua more look like a one read look only type of quarterback. But also, when you have 3 concussions, your line's not good. I'd probably be scared to hold on to the ball too. So I think you got to put a little bit of blame on everybody. I mean, from Mike McDaniel to, then going up to Chris Greer. I mean, I don't think he's drafted some good talent. He's definitely signed some good free agents, but he really signs like injury prone veterans. Like if you look at like the free agents we've signed over the past few years and you see like their games played, it's insane how many games they've actually played versus seasons. And so it's a lot. I think that's why they literally took it from the top down. Like, we're getting rid of our GM, we're getting rid of our coach, probably going to get rid of our quarterback, got rid of our number 1 receiver. I think it just needs a complete rebrand. A lot of questions. So I definitely don't think it was all one guy you could really put the blame on.
No, I'm in that similar camp too. So quietly, a couple other, not just an injury to your number 1 receiver, but also a sneaky under the radar retirement. I believe it was last offseason was Teron Armstead, who is the lockdown at the tackle side.
Yeah, that hurt.
You have that ability to have that kind of blindside protector. Or even, I guess, on Tua's case, it's not technically blindside, but it's still not having the same type of.
The line has never been able to give him the time he needs. And now, a lot of people will praise his ability to get the ball out quick, but he was forced to. You look at those Tom Brady teams from literally like early 2000s and more so when I started watching in the 2010s. I mean, this dude would sit in the pocket for 6 seconds. Like, of course you're going to win ball games. You have because at that point, plays are going to break down. Not that you want that to happen, but like guys get lost in coverage, receivers make other moves. Like, teams just started reading Miami way too well to where like it's a major change was needed. So I hope they can draft some good young guys on the line. That's my hope in the draft. I mean, I'd love to draft like a receiver or, second. We need secondary too, but John Eric Sullivan, our GM, has been very heavy, like draft focused, which I like. So I'm interested to see what we can do with that cleared cap space. Hopefully trade Tua. I don't really understand how that's possible at this point. I'd give it like a 2% chance, but I don't know. I saw the Colts don't want to move forward with Anthony Richardson at all, and I don't know if they're going to take back Daniel Jones. So I could see them maybe pursuing Tua because they'll be playing indoors all the time. That'd be nice, but it's going to be I don't know. Broncos could do it. We can do it. May just take a couple years. That's all.
Right, and the one thing I'll add to that, I guess, in terms of rebuild is, I mean, we see teams rebuild rather quickly a lot across the league. Past year, Jacksonville gets playoffs after what was a 4-win year. New England, Denver turning it around into
it's possible
bottom to the 1 seed. So it's definitely there in the cards for sure. I guess the question, and I'll say this in regards to if there is a way to, because I mean, we've seen, I mean, I remember when Brock Osweiler was, I thought the Houston Texans would be stuck with that awful contract for years. They had to give up picks to probably do it and move off of it. And I would say Tua is much better than what Osweiler was those years ago.
Sure.
I guess for, let's say, who was not on that roster. Obviously, Anthony Richardson comes up now and is an example today with him not wanting to, maybe wanting out of Indianapolis. Is potentially, I mean, could Quinn Ewers be an option? Is there maybe a quarterback in the second round that might be worth it, or a free agent? What are your thoughts on Miami's future quarterback outlook?
God, I think Ewers should stay on the roster. I liked what I saw from him coming in because usually I will say when Miami's had to put in a backup quarterback, it's been awful. And I'll say Quinn, he threw a couple picks. I don't think all of them were his fault. I get they didn't go up against the best defenses when they did it, but I like for him being a seventh round pick, I'll take it. They're very big on drafting quarterbacks. I think our GM even said like they would probably do it yearly just to have that like quarterback room. I mean, the Dolphins, we did have three quarterbacks this year, but it seems like a lot of time we only have two. So I definitely see Ewers staying on the roster. I'd like to see if he can improve over time in camp. I don't see us drafting one, kind of like Quinn Ewers again, like maybe just someone in the late rounds. I think this is going to be a weak year for quarterbacks. I mean, you've got obviously Mendoza, who's 99.9% going to go one overall. Then you've got Ty Simpson, who also probably go first round, maybe second if, he drops. And then you've got that kid out of Arkansas, which I'm not super against. I know his last name's Green. I can never remember his first name. But then I don't know. So like the GMs came out and said like he thinks you have to build culture from within. He uses free agency like subtly, but he's not like a guy. It's like, three big guys out there. Let's go get him. Signing big contracts. He's definitely said how he wants to build from within. So I could see us drafting a quarterback for sure. A lot of talk about Malik Willis. At this point, I mean, I'd give it a try, but I don't know. It's honestly, I don't even know what I want. At this point, I just want something else to give it a try. And then, I don't know. I mean, I definitely see us drafting another quarterback this year, but I don't see it as like a franchise type move. Unless, we turn, say he takes the corner over camp and ends up playing a couple games and he looks good, but that's rare. That's rare when that happens, especially not being drafted in the first round.
Right. It's not especially now. I mean, when you look at the percentage of starting quarterbacks that are first rounders, it's 75% of the league at minimum. I mean, the only guys you can really think of are maybe like a Dak fourth rounder, Jalen Hurts second rounder, Purdy Mr. Irrelevant, and then everybody else is just first round picks.
Yeah, it's first round, exactly.
I'll say this in regards to quarterback situation. There is, because obviously Miami's not going to be those. I think the real question is, in the event, now let's flip the script, presuming Tua, we believe Tua is likely to get moved to some capacity. Say Tua is still on that roster after, which is, again, I don't think likely considering benching.
Possibility, though.
It is very real. It's that contract's too difficult to move.
Yeah.
What is the best free agency and draft approach to just evaluate evaluate Tua, see if there's still something there, or just evaluate the quarterbacks you have on the roster? I guess after moving off of Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, what is the process in terms of getting the roster back into a competitive state where a culture feels like it's being changed?
Well, I look at the defense first because that's what I'm most comfortable with. I mean, you've got Chop Robinson, who's slowly improved. He seems injury prone, but he's young. I'm willing to give him a shot. Obviously, losing Chubb sucks. We've still got Zach Sealer on the inside. We've got Kenneth Grant, who, for being a first-round pick, I wasn't super pleased, but, I mean, he definitely progressed throughout the year. I love the linebacking core. I mean, Jordan Brooks, leading tackler of the year, first-team All-Pro. Big fan of his. Even Tyrell Dodson, the second linebacker, he's young. He's shown really good looks. So, I mean, coverage-wise, may have to work a little bit. And then defense, as far as what I'm worried about, is the secondary. I mean, we've got Minka, who, he's Minka. That's a guy I don't really ever have to worry about. He's going to make plays, but the cornerbacks are awful. Nobody can guard. And I don't know if it was defensive scheme. I know the guys there weren't good. I think you got to go, if you're going to draft on the defensive side at any time, it's got to be secondary. I'd love to have Caleb Downs come along, but I don't think he's going to fall to 11, unfortunately. Obviously, it would be more of a safety aspect too, but he's a guy that can make plays. Now, going to the offensive side, I'm really not worried about like the playmakers. I mean, you got a chain coming off a Pro Bowl year. You've got, well, they're probably not going to bring back Waller, but Miami's always been one of those teams where we can kind of put in whoever at tight end and it works. I mean, we had Waller this year, we had Dulcich, we've had past years Gasecki. That I'm not really too worried about. You still got Waddle coming off a weak year, obviously, but he doesn't have a doubt in my mind. We did just sign, I believe, Terrace. I think it's Terrace Marshall Jr. I'm a fan of his coming from LSU. He, obviously hasn't really done a lot in the NFL, but I'm okay with that. And I'd love to draft another receiver, but I don't see us using a pick on it. And honestly, like the whole Tua thing, like it's tough to want to just give up on him. Obviously, everyone thinks he's regressed. I definitely see it numbers wise. You know, it's tough for me, even though a lot of Dolphins fans would call me crazy, be like, well, dude, like, how can you not like be ready to move on? It's because like I've seen the highs. Like, I mean, this dude 1 year I think threw for 4,600 yards and 30 touchdowns. Like that doesn't just go away. He still has that skill. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing him in another scheme, but I definitely think if you're just going to focus on building something besides the quarterback, it's got to be O-line and secondary. That defense has got to be more on lockdown, and we got to have. I'd like to have a quarterback that can have a pocket presence, and we haven't had that. I mean, my opinion, ever. Ryan Tannehill, maybe, and like it wasn't like we were dominating, So I think I like our tackles. I like Patrick Paul on the left. I like Austin Jackson on the right. Well, Austin Jackson when he can stay healthy. I like Aaron Brewer at center. Those inner guard positions, though, man, just hurt. They've got to be worked on. And we just let James Daniels go too. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm dying to know what we're gonna do with the 11th pick, but man, I don't know. They're coming. They said they're coming to a decision on Tua soon as well. So I guess we're really gonna see, hopefully before March. But I wonder if they're waiting kind of till that deadline, March 13th or March 11th or 13th, whenever it is.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I think you got to go O-line and secondary, meaning cornerbacks for sure.
100%. And what I've seen I mean, this is, I'm not as well versed in Miami traditionally, but looking into Tua overall, I guess when I saw Jeff Hafley get hired, my thought process kind of was, and I think I texted you about this one. I kind of saw what Miami was trying to do. They had almost, and it might be a reach to say this now, but similar to what Seattle wanted in Mike McDonald. They want a coach to combat the heavyweights of their division, which right now are the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and the New England Patriots and Drake May. It's very similar to how Seattle wanted to combat against the offensive coaches in their division of Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. They needed a defensive guy to be able to match up with the offensive guys. Is that sort of something that you is the vision for what Miami is trying to do?
That's tough because he came out and said he wants to call offensive plays as well. So I don't know if he's really just trying to take over a locker room. But I look at Green Bay defenses over the past couple of years with him, and I think, I mean, don't get me wrong, not top 3, top 5, whatever, but they're solid. And I just think he brings culture, man. Like if you watched I've watched, of course, like all the hiring, not hiring, but like, introduction interviews and stuff. I mean, he just like his will to win is just insane. I mean, the guy worked at Pittsburgh College. He slept in his office for 2 years. Like, I'm sure you're making money at that point. You know what I mean? Maybe not a ton, but I don't know what kind of, I think he might have been like a positions coach, but like I like his attitude. Him and the GM have both said they want to build on physicality and toughness, which if, I'm sure you've heard, that's what Miami literally has none of. That's what we've lacked. That's what teams make fun of us for. So I definitely think a lot of that will be on the defensive side primarily, but I'm hoping that doesn't, because I don't like when teams go straight up defensive. Like, you got to be able to run both sides. I'm personally not a fan of defensive coaches being hired as head coaches, but I mean, once again, you look at McDonald, he looks pretty darn good. I mean, I feel like you could consider Vrabel a defensive coach. He looks pretty darn good.
Sure,
so, you know, I definitely don't care if it's defensive front because, I mean, hey, by any means, I'd rather us get beat by our offense than someone else's offense. You know, I'd rather it be like us holding teams and then we just have to outscore. So I definitely think so, especially when he talks about like physicality and stuff. And I think a lot of those guys on the defense are going to mend to that. And then it's just kind of the offensive side to really kind of pick up the pace. But I don't know. I'm interested because we got what's the offense? I can't even pronounce his name. Slowiak as or Slowick, something like that as OC. So I don't know. I mean, he says he wants to, you know, I don't know how to feel when coaches say like they want to call offensive plays when they're defensive minded, but then you also hire an OC. Obviously, you have to have an OC, but like, I think he's more just wants to give it a try. So I'm definitely interested, but a lot of people have judged the head coach hire as kind of like a negative one. I've seen a lot of grades, of course. Everybody wants to make grades of anything nowadays, but everyone was grading it like one of the lowest. I'm like, I don't know. When he's got the attitude he's got, it's kind of like Dan Campbell, like when he came into the press conference and was like, yeah, we're going to bite guys' knees as we're going down. And everyone thought he was like super weird, but like that mentality has made that team from like a 2-15 team to almost a Super Bowl contender. So I can't complain. It's better than Mike McDaniel. I don't think Mike McDaniel had any grit to him. And I mean, you're playing football. That's at least 50% of the games just being tough, you know, and showing up. So I'm excited. I don't know if a lot of other Miami Dolphins fans are, but just hearing what they've said coming from an organization like Green Bay, who has proved decade after decade they stay in. I mean, they make the playoffs every year, just about. They draft well. I mean, they drafted Favre, Rodgers, and then Love. And obviously, like John Eric Sullivan didn't draft them himself, but like just knowing that culture, I think is going to do well for Miami. So I'm pretty stoked. Hello?
No, is it working? Can I be heard?
Yeah. I was
Okay.
like, dude, I was like, wow.
I was like tapping the mic, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, everything just fall apart.
Dude, no. I know. I was like, dude, we just got hacked. Like, podcast is off. We're done.
Cook. But no, I mean, to your point, that's that culture especially, and then that's when it's that at this kind of level where you've seen kind of the same things be repeated over and over. It takes someone who wants. I think to the main point about him wanting to call offensive plays, I think that's just part of him wanting to change as much as he can because he wants to be committing to as much of that culture as possible. He may not have every answer on offense, but he wants to be known, hey, I'm here to change the culture.
He wants to be included. Yeah, he doesn't want to just throw it off to the next guy like, oh, here you go. Yeah, like he wants to be involved. So I like it.
We got Marcus and Jay in here, so let's just go ahead and give them a round of applause for showing up to that.
Marcus and Jay, what up?
Marcus is asking, who's the bearded beast who looks like he can model the hell out of Levi Jean? I dig the ball knowledge.
Shout out to you, Marcus.
Yeah,
thank you,
dude.
Good compliment there,
dude. You know what? You could rock a pair of jeans. You gotta do it in the Sydney Sweeney business. You gotta start modeling alongside her.
Yeah, I could. I mean, Sydney Sweeney, get her out.
get this man in there. He represents.
Get what's her name? Beyonce. Get her out of there too. No,
get him out.
We'll get this ass in jeans, and we'll see who's pulling more views.
Get him in there. And then Jay also saying, hey, someone agrees with me about defensive head coaches and how they're overrated hires. Praise be thy football Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, they're proving me wrong as I say it, but yeah, I don't know. You look at some of them like Brian Flores. He's a great defensive coach. Obviously just got the DC job in Minnesota. He wasn't that good. You look at Sala. He didn't. I mean, it was the Jets. That's not a great situation to go to, but they haven't had the best luck. But I definitely think it's. I don't know. The NFL's it's been changing a lot, so we'll see.
I mean,
Obviously McDonald literally just proved me wrong. He's very defensive minded, but that team is also stacked. I mean, that Seattle team is going to go down. It's one of probably the best. I mean, they were insane. They were fun to watch. I'm glad they beat down the Patriots too. That was enjoyable.
I got to tell you, when I watched the Super Bowl, I was on cloud 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, me too.
I need that to happen, especially for the entire year. That team was just so clearly not them. Like, they weren't bad, but they weren't them either. Like, you need to be. I feel like a team to win a Super Bowl, you got to be him. Patriots never felt that all year.
Yeah, well, that's why. I mean, when I saw, obviously they were killing teams in the regular season, and like, hey, once again, not to compare apples to oranges, but the Dolphins in 2023, they had the best offense, like statistically, one of the best ever. And it's like you get in the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. And then like they played I think they played the Chargers first. I think they won like 16-10, 16-6, something like that. Then they played the Texans. Texans got a really good defense. And then the fact that they only beat the Broncos like 10-7 and with a backup quarterback. And the snow obviously in the second half sucked. But going into that Seahawks game, at first I was kind of debating. I was like, man, like they got the Seahawks as kind of like a slight, pretty good favorite. And then I thought about it and I was like, no, like they are probably going to dominate them on the offense. Well, really, they didn't on the offensive side. But that defense, man, Will Campbell should go work insurance. Drake May might want to look for another job. No, but they're both young, man. I mean, they're my age. I couldn't imagine being in that spot. So they'll be back. I mean, I like to make jokes, but no, they'll be back. I do respect the Patriots a lot. I mean, well, it's hard for me to say that being a Dolphins fan, but hey, man, they turned it around. You know what I mean? That's what they do. I mean, I love every other sport. For those who don't know, I love Boston. So it's a culture out there, man. You turn things around, and they did it rather quickly. So they'll be back, but hopefully my Dolphins will be there.
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Dolphins should be there
it.
for. I mean, we all know the Steelers are really down with Mike McCarthy.
Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy, baby.
If you want to talk about being the reincarnation of the Packers, that's us. Dude.
McCarthy.
Next thing you know, Randall Cobb's gonna be coming out of retirement. They're gonna go get James Jones off the street. They're gonna go get
James Jones. Oh my god!
They're gonna get the hoodie. They're gonna bring back the hoodie.
I love James Jones. Was so fun to watch for Michael Finley. Oh man!
Bring in Josh Sitton. Bring Andrew Corliss.
God, I'm literally like having a dopamine rush thinking about all the 2010 football nostalgia right now, man.
2010.
Oh my god! What a time to be alive.
Amazing. Oh my god. Speaking of, I guess Boston. I wanted to ask you. Well, before we even get into that, I got a couple more things about the Dolphins. The main thing being with Tyreek Hill now being cut. Obviously, there's perspectives, right? There's the Dolphins' perspective. How do you manage that new cap space? I think it's like close to. It's a good amount. It was roughly in the 20 cutting Tyreek Hill. A lot of cap space.
Yeah.
With Tyreek. I mean, you've seen him in Miami. We've all seen him in Kansas City. What is Tyreek for the first time being a free agent? Where do you think Tyreek, based on what we all know about him, where do you think he likely destination?
Everyone says Kansas City, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, just doesn't really, in my opinion, doesn't make sense. The way he kind of described his life and his like kind of exit post from Miami was like his life's in like chapters, which obviously, I mean, that's how it works for a lot of us, right? But it made it seem like, once that's over, like we go on to new beginnings. And I think it would be funny if he went to the Chargers to be with Mike McDaniel again. It's a tough thing. It's like, I don't really know how players' relationships were with Mike. He didn't really hear if they were good. He didn't really hear if they were bad. So I don't know. I mean, he could he's coming off obviously an ACL tear, broken knee, whatever it was. He's 32. I mean, he's still got gas in the tank, in my opinion. I think he will for a couple of years at least. I mean, when you run like that, it's hard to just lose that. I mean, I think teams. I don't know if he'd want to stay in. That's another thing. It's like he's played in the cold, he's played in the warmth. So, like, I don't know if he wants to like stay in Florida now. No income tax. It's a big deal. But when I look at teams, I mean, I know he'd want to go to a team that's got an accurate quarterback. Obviously, Mahomes and Tua, when he was in his prime, he loved his accuracy. I mean, the Chargers don't really need a receiver, though. I don't see him staying in the AFC East. I saw a post saying that he should go to the Patriots. I don't see that happening.
The Diggs Hill duo would be
That'd be so
monstrous.
gross. That would be so gross. I would hate
Monsters
my life.
on and off the field.
I'm trying to think of someone who could I mean, I don't know. He's a guy where I never expected him to leave Kansas City, and then they traded him, because of the whole contract issue. And then he comes to it was between Miami and the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was wild. So I don't know. I imagine he'll go. I don't that's a baffling question. I don't know. I usually you have an idea, and that's one guy where he could literally end up in and he could end up in Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe
where all the washed receivers go, just to the Titans.
Yeah, just to the Titans. The Titans are never going to be good again for everyone. So maybe I don't know. I mean, I could see him going to Tampa. Well, no, I mean maybe Jacksonville. I think he'll stay somewhere. I think he'll stay somewhere warm. So if you go stay Florida, he said Miami's his home. So I imagine he's not going to want to go too far away from home. Yeah, you never know. Maybe Carolina. That'd be cool.
Oh, dude, Bryce Young and Tyreek Hill. I think actually what's crazy about that is I think Tyreek Hill might be taller.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
That would look so weird. Seeing Tyreek Hill taller than his quarterback, that's never happened.
Yeah, no. He's dude's 5'9". No. 5'8" maybe on a good day.
I remember there were a couple options that tossed around. Someone, obviously people throw out the Bills for revenge on the Chiefs, revenge on the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill plays into that sort of big time deep mentality almost. But I think there were two weird ones. Weird one that I thought was the first one was the Raiders. Really weird, just because they might.
That's really funny. You just said that. That's who I, for a split second, kind of thought of. I mean, because Vegas, they haven't been good, but I feel like Vegas is starting to become a city of interest now. It's kind of you look at the big markets like LA, Boston, Philly, New York. Las Vegas is soon enough to be in that conversation with all the money that comes in from gambling. So, I mean, look, they've got female basketball team, football team. There's going to be a baseball team there. If there's an expansion for basketball, probably one would be there. You got the UFC, who's focused there. I mean, they've got Brock Bowers, they've got Ashton Genty, you've got a fresh quarterback coming in who is accurate. They've got the money. I could see it, but I don't know. That also seems like an interest. I don't know, but I wouldn't count them out. That's for sure.
The one to me, this is not I don't know their cap space. I haven't looked into it entirely, but the one that fascinates me the absolute most is the Atlanta Falcons. Indoor Tyreek Hill.
He's from Georgia.
Pair him with Drake London. You get Bijan in the backfield. You get Kevin Stefanski in as a new head coach. You tag Kyle Pitts. And then it's like, Michael Penix, here you go. This is the best offense we can possibly give you.
Now that you say that, I mean, you look at the division, that division's up for grabs yearly. That would have to be one of my favorites. I mean, honestly, just for the love of the game, I'm a big guy of loving, just sick offenses like that. But wow, they would be insane.
Tyreek paired up.
They would be.
London.
Drake, Bijan, and if they were to keep Pitts, which I don't think they're going to do, but
the golden tight end, baby. Adds one
I'm
more
drafting
touchdown
Michael
every year.
Penix in football, fantasy football. I can tell
Yeah,
you that
Tyreek
much,
Hill.
man.
He can stay healthy. I mean, and that's the thing, right? It's like Michael Penix now in the year 2 league now is now in the league 2 years, and I feel like I know less about him than I do JJ McCarthy. And McCarthy missed an entire year. So
Yeah,
it's such a wild card, right? Like I think there's potential, but with how many quarterbacks have already hit in that draft, like you've seen Bo been like maybe not as extraordinary, but been very consistent. We saw what Drake May did. We saw Caleb Williams doing. We saw Jaden Daniels' rookie year. Michael Penix might be the one or two of the busts in that class. We got to find out 2026, and getting Tyreek Hill would be a good way to find out.
yeah. You automatically get upgraded. I mean, no doubt about that. So I would like to see him go there, especially he'll be in the NFC. Get away.
Yeah.
I probably won't ever have to face you ever again.
I don't need that stress in my life of any time 70-yard touchdown could just happen.
It's awful. It's awful.
That was what it was like playing the Chiefs. Like you never like I remember their first run of the Super Bowl, like the Texans were up 24-0 and it was gone in a quarter.
Dude, he just bing bing zing 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 zing. Like, dude, he's nuts. It's the only guy you throw the ball to and you go, he's gonna score. And you're like, how? He's on like he's on 35. He's gonna score.
It was Madden everything. Like, even in Madden, especially too. Like I was playing my cousin.
So overpowered.
I would play my cousin. And I would like usually beat him a lot, and then he played the Chiefs. It was possible. Like I would be able to beat him with DeShone Kizer. Yeah, I just couldn't beat Tyreek Hill. It was never gonna happen.
No, he's made way too good.
It's absurd. But for I guess now the interesting thing from the Miami side, we now have where does that cap space from Tyreek Hill end up getting spent is the next question because I think I tried to talk about this a little yesterday. This is my take. In add on as we go for I think it was 20 mil, right? The one mistake that sometimes teams that can struggle make is bring in big free, right? Especially teams that are like treading water almost. Bring in a big free agent. Like, it's kind of why, like in retrospect, it's still the right move. But I do think Green Bay, in their sense of bringing in Micah, I think they're a lot closer than people think. But I also don't think like people have them as like potential Super Bowl favorites. I still don't think they're there. I think there's right. I think at the level at which what Miami needs to do, that 20 mil needs to be spent on at least like you cannot be spending it on two guys. I think you need to get a lot of different starters.
Yes, and especially when you listen to a GM like John, where he even says like he does not build teams through free agency. He's like he thinks it's a good tool, but you don't build a team. I mean, you look at Jordan Brooks. We signed him on a 3-year, $30 million deal. That's $10 million a year for an All-Pro. I mean, obviously, no one knew. He was good. No one thought he was going to have a fucking All-Pro year. But I'm the same way. I mean, you can sign very valuable guys that aren't skill players for literally anywhere from 10 to 15 million a year, and some, like you said, even less. I mean, you see guys get signed all the time for 2-year, $10 million deals. I'm a big and really, I mean, I don't know what our cap space was looking like beforehand, negative wise, but from releasing him, Chubb, Westbrook Akine, and James Daniels, we've cleared $58 million against the cap this year. So I don't really know how much that's going to be to actually work with, especially depending on what we do with Tua. But yeah, I mean, I think you got to go out, maybe sign a lineman or two, someone that can at least play while you develop rookies. You can always get like a veteran corner on like a 1-2 year deal. I mean, I really like Rasul Douglas. I don't think we paid him much at all this year, and he had an okay year. So yeah, I'm big with you. Like, I don't like to go. We're not in the position where like one guy's going to make or break the team.
Exactly.
It's not like we need one. I think it's good to get like that 1 or 2 guys. Like, I mean, you look at our offense. We've got Waddle and a chain. Okay, fill the rest with anything. And then you look at defense where, like, we had – I'm trying to think of who's probably been the most recent. I mean, you got Minka, obviously, right now. But, like, Xavier Howard and Ramsey. and you fill around. So if we could afford it, yeah. But no, I'm big with you. Draft and then just sign these veteran guys.
I say it's very similar to like what Philly did a couple years ago. Philadelphia like signed Zach Bond to like, you get an all pro guy. And again, no one knows, but the reality is you can't break the bank. Like Jacksonville a few years ago broke the bank for like Christian Kirk, right? Like those aren't guys you should be breaking the bank for. Those aren't guys you should be spending that much money. In terms of getting, you need to be able to pay guys that you think, can this guy maybe start, or can this guy play at least some meaningful like snaps as backup, or like in basketball, it'd be like, can this guy get minutes? That's kind of the situation that
100%. Especially when you have 11 on 11. I mean, you got to have everybody surrounding the ball on defense. Everybody on offense have got to be together. Like it's about how it's like your IQ. Like how much of an impact can you really make with the time you're going to be given on that field? So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely all for it.
100%. I wanna switch it up just a little bit because we have the tournament, we had the 3-point contest, we had dunk contest. I don't know how much of it you caught, but I'm curious if you have any thoughts on it. I know there have been some people that are saying it. It's kind of been not necessarily. It's far from perfect, but it's certainly better than it was in recent years. I've heard a lot of that. I've heard obviously considerations that it's still bad. What's your take on it based on what you know of it last couple days?
I didn't really like the round robin idea. I mean, I guess just kind of jump into the All-Star game because I feel like that's what people most talk about. I didn't like the idea at first, and then I actually watched the games. Now, don't get me wrong, some guys still slacked off. It was I think it was the most watched All-Star game like in a long time. Guys were competing. Victor Wembanyama helped. He was competing. Like guys were. It's almost like when they separated the guys by like World USA and then like USA, like there was like a younger team and an older team. Like it was almost like, and I don't know if Adam Silver's been saying something because I mean he did just fine the Jazz and the Pacers for tanking. So I think people are starting to take notice of like, yeah, like we actually have to try a little bit. Like we're getting paid millions of dollars. Let's put on a show. No one's asking you. I saw a lot of talk shows. Like no one's asking you to go play like it's the finals. Like we think that aspect was better. I don't think. I think it's one of those things though where it's like no one's ever going to be happy with it because like they look back at that like one game in the 90s where it was like 90-90 and like guys were playing defense. Like no, it's never going to get that good again. It's a young guys like. So I definitely think it was better than the last year. So maybe that should kind of stay the round robin. 3-point contest, that's always as good as gold. Keep that rolling. I like how that's good every year. My biggest gripe has got to be the dunk contest. I mean, it hurts. As I'm a big NBA fan. I mean, I love the NFL, but basketball is by far, maybe not to watch, but to play, it's my favorite sport. And I mean, no one wants to do it anymore. And the guys that do it, I mean, no disrespect, but like they're not doing anything crazy.
Right.
Like I look back at 2016, you had Levine versus Gordon. Like that was probably, and I watched that live. That I look back and I go, I'm so glad I was able to watch that.
Cinema.
It was the most insane. It was the most absolute cinema. It was literally the most insane dunk contest I've ever seen. And I kind of blame it on the judges, though. I mean, they're giving these guys like obviously max score of 50. 5 10s makes a 50, and like these guys are getting like mid 40s for like. I mean, once again, I don't know how hard it is to dunk. I can't dunk, but like you got a guy who's 6'8", probably with a 30-inch, 40-inch vertical. It's not hard. And like you look at guys like Mac McClung, who's not in it. And then he posts the dunks he would have done, and you're like, wow, well, he would have won with these. But they're giving like basic dunks too high of scores. And I think that's kind of like almost diminishing, like, hey, man, like this is the dunk contest. Like, we get you can dunk, but show us some skill. So, All-Star game, I mean, I wish was better, but I hate to be negative. I don't think it ever will get to like a competitive level. But man, I don't know. They should, like, a lot of people think they should just abolish the dunk contest. And at this point, yeah, I mean, why not? No one's doing anything impressive.
No, I mean I was talking about this yesterday too. And actually it was actually said by Jay over here. Viewers talk about the creativity, the lack of, nobody really wants to, like, The thing is with the dunk contest that they treat it almost as if you're trying to dunk it as if we're also a game. Like the reality is, there's so much more you can. Remember when like you had like Blake Griffin jumping over a car or something like.
Fucking Kong. That's okay. I mean, it may not be great
Yeah,
for
it
your
looks-
score, but I'd
it's
rather
right.
see a guy take 3 tries to do a between the legs windmill 360 than a guy just, do a 360 and get it first try. Like you're in the NBA, I know you can do that.
Right.
No question.
But like, because I remember we were talking about the ideas because I actually got it because like I had like this one. There's this like short that comes up in my feed every once in a while. They dump out like a bunch of like ping pong balls onto a giant field, and one of them's they have to catch it at it. Like, what if you had a guy go up top above like into the actual top of the stadium, has a basketball, drops it down, and the guy has to try to windmill the ball as it's coming down from the top of the rafters, catch it, and then
There you
down.
go.
Like that's something that's worth
a
like a high
crazy dunk.
score. That's a 50 dunk. Like you're gonna just go up casually like a foot soldier and just do your normal dunk that you do in routine games. It's like, why would I watch that? I'd watch your practices.
Yeah, like scoring shouldn't be completion in how many tries. It should be completion and holy shit. How did he do that? Like, it's almost like a holy shit score. Like, I don't know. I mean, I partially blame the judges. I mean, they don't make, but I don't know. I think the judges have also, like, dimmed down their taste buds. Like, okay, this is what the field is we're working with. So a guy does a tomahawk. Oh, that's a 45 because no one's doing anything crazier.
This is doing
and it's like, yeah, like Jackson Hayes, center for LA. Now I get he's a center. I don't expect centers to really, he's 6'11". Like I get it's not easy for them to have airtime. He jumped from like a foot or two before, like after the free throw line, so not even a Jordan dunk, and just tomahawked it. He got like a 45. Like he's 6'11" with probably a 7'2" wingspan. Like it doesn't impress. I don't know.
Right? No,
I don't know. It's a weird spot. I don't know. I don't really know what you could do to fix it. With like, you got to get guys that want to do it. And hey, you may have to pay them. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing. It's like start paying these guys. Pay top guys 1, 2, 3 million to do it. And it's money that Adam Silver wanted to cough up. He pays the winning guy on every team, or he pays the winning guy on the winning team of the cup, of the in-season cup, $500K. That's $6 million. You can spend $6 million plus marketing and all that other crap, and the game courts, whatever, on an in-season cup that really doesn't matter. The guys have made it look competitive. Spend the $5 or $6 million and pay 4 guys $1.5 million to $2 million to go dunk. Like, hey, we want you in the dunk contest, $2 million. Show your best. Because your ratings, it's all about ratings. And like the ratings, I'm sure, for the dunk contest right now are in this toilet.
Yeah.
It's like if I knew that a dunk contest was going to have Ja Morant, Mac McClung, Zion Williamson, and let's just say, I don't know, just say like another crazy dunker in the league, 100% going to tune in because I know what it's going to be. Not like, no disrespect, like Jackson Hayes, Jace Richardson, Quentin Bryant, or whatever. Like, I don't even know who that is. Like,
right.
Even if you're an NBA fan, like I feel like you don't know who that is. No disrespect to him. He had a couple nice dunks, but like, I don't know. They've got to put more incentive to wanting to do it.
Especially with them just being first timers. Like they're just in like, most of these guys are not getting legitimate minutes in NBA games anyway. Like, there's a good chunk of them that are just role players or just straight up ride the bench like for large chunks of the season. Like they got to bring Mac McClung out of the last couple of years. That's basically what they had to do. They had to bring Mac McClung out.
Yeah, they had to bring out someone who's going to up literally it's like play to your competition, right? Like, well, Mac McClung's doing double 360. Oh, I know what I got to do now. Like,
right. Like you would think that would be the hint. Like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to. Like they got to keep bringing him out of the cryogenic chamber every single year just to have him go out and basically carry the dunk contest. There's just so little. There's so much that to be so much better. Like I think the other thing, I don't know, maybe I don't think this is something that's done a lot. Maybe it is, but like I remember once, like it was a clip from like years ago. It's just like Joel Embiid on the sideline of a game watching like Rick and Morty, and like it doesn't mean a whole lot, but in terms of just holy crap, these guys do these normal. Like I think like Karl Anthony Towns was referenced in a game theory about how much he likes Five Nights at Freddy's. What if Karl Anthony Towns, the dunk contest, trying to set up like a crazy, like if you had like a FNAF mascot or something out there, throwing him a lob for a crazy jam, like that's at least creativity. Like there's something about that, oh wow, remember the time Karl Anthony Towns brought out Freddy Fazbear to toss him a lob to slam a dunk and win the dunk contest?
Something that people are going to remember. 100%.
That's something that people would be like, that was cool. It may not be like crazy or anything, but it's like that would sit in my mind as like that's a thing that happened that would be memorable. That would be memorable.
Yeah, exactly.
But it sucks because everybody knows that it can be better, and it's just
not. Yeah, that's the problem. Is they're not trying to make it better.
Man, there's so many cool ideas. You're bronze, Adam Silver. You're Adam Bronze. Make you Adam Silver. We can make you look like Adam.
Like Gold. Adam Copper.
Dude, Adam Stone. Adam
spelled ATOM. Like. Gross.
Tiny dude. You're a tiny little speck on the. Let me get through some of these other comments too. Jay was also saying it's hard for anyone outside of Boston to say that. I think referring to like outside of like oh man, I got mad respect for Boston.
Oh yeah, everybody else hates Boston. I've embraced that. It's tough.
Actually, if they bring Clay Matthews and AJ Hawk out of retirement, I don't even know. Like next, it's gonna be the whole. They're gonna go get Mason Crosby. They're just gonna get the whole squad.
No.
They're gonna get Crosby to replace with Boswell. I'd actually cry. I might actually shed if they got rid of Boswell. Goobmeister's in the chat. I believe that's cool. Goobmeister. Yes. Yeah. Straight up just putting his name up on. Yeah, but he just he always does this. He puts like a bunch of emojis, but they never show up in chat correctly. So I don't know. Jay was also saying for Tyreek Hill, 32 injured. He's the perfect Jets player.
Oh, dude, send him. Have fun.
Send him to New York. Team up with Justin Fields and the crew. I
heard someone say the Giants too. You know, I mean, who knows? Maybe he wants to go to the Big Apple, big city. I mean, they got Dart, Scatterboo, and Neighbors. I mean, he could fit in.
Pair him up with that 100%. Frat boy energy with the.
Oh God,
him and Jackson. That'd be a crazy one. Him with Neighbors though would be a fascinating.
That'd be wild.
They're both coming off injury and they have like crazy.
Yep, they could work together. I think they're coming off the same injury. Didn't they both tear their ACL?
I think so. I think Neighbors towards ACL, but I think also Tyreek had like a dislocated knee. Well, on top.
Okay. Yeah.
It was also like.
So they're all coming off injuries.
They're all the
Jackson Dart's probably mentally ill at this point. Like
eating crayons now. And then and Mark is also saying compete and have fun just like you would on the blacktop. Yeah, that's what they need in the the All-Star game. The guys to play like it's what was it on blacktop? Yeah.
I think it was Josh Hart who once said, they were like, well, how do you feel? Like, you know, you tired? Or like, they asked him something or like, and he made it doesn't matter what they asked him. And he made the comment like, there's guys who go work 12-hour shifts 5 days a week and make no money. I mean, not no money, but, you know, like a salary.
Right.
And he gets paid 10, 20 million. And then like 30, 40, you know, any type of, I don't care if you're on a rookie minimum getting $1 million a year. I get people say, well, after taxes, it's only like $250,000. Dude, what? Like only? Like, that's okay, like the best people in like corporate jobs don't even make $250,000. And once again, like you're playing basketball. Dude, I'd go play basketball for $50,000 a year doing what I love, you know?
Right.
And like, so it's like, once again, like it's a gift. Like you made it to the NBA. You could show some appreciation for it. Like not enough guys, all sports, not just basketball, but not enough guys showed the appreciation of being able to make 6, 7 figure, 10 or 8, I mean, not 10 figures overall in their lifetime, maybe, but like 8 figures a year. It's wild. It's unfortunate because like a lot of people would beg to be in that situation and would work their tail off every night for it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's almost like a mentality thing. Something's got to change.
100%. Dude, I mean, look at what I'm doing. I don't get paid for this. I do it for the love of the game.
Love to do it. The love of the game.
The love of
100%,
the
dude.
game, man. Mark's also saying just give them zeros when they go to those dunks. Like somebody throws out that actually would have been such a statement.
Yeah, like
if
that's
one
what I'm
of them
saying. Like
threw
you
out
gotta
a
score him
zero,
low. Like score him like a 30. Give him a 6. Like if I saw a guy do a tomahawk dunk that I know is in the NBA, 7 maybe just because you did it.
yeah, like it's just like it's especially context. Like if I see like a 10-year-old come out and just tomahawk chop it, like yeah, that dude's
He's gonna get 12.
That dude's getting a
get
12. But you're like you've been
Yeah.
in the NBA 5 years, you're in like the prime, and you're just going up to the lane, just dog, come on, brother.
No.
That's like
sense.
that's a 2. That's not even a 2. That's a -3.
Yeah. Bye. See ya.
Bye bye. Shoot, man, what time is it? We got 50. It's close to 8, so I figured we usually go for about an hour. But let me speed run through the comments, and then if we got anything else that comes up, we can. Let's also yeah. Mark's was describing high school layup line dunk when you want to intimidate that all white Catholic school to intimidate them. That's what Hayes did.
Yo, that was me. on the white Catholic school team. Okay. Well, maybe not. Obviously, when I was on that team, I was in like 5th grade, so like nobody could dunk then. But yeah, I mean, going over to high school, I mean, not getting into race here, all white school, pretty much, maybe like 1% black, not even. Going out to 30 minutes away, yeah, it's a little intimidating. Our head coach even said it was going to be intimidating. We were like 13 years old, and he's like, "You guys are going to shit your pants," and I'm like, "Dude, what?" Like, dude, we're like 13, 14 years old. He's like, "You guys are going to be intimidated." I'm like, "You should not be saying this right now."
That's crazy.
You're not wrong, but like, come on, dude. But
put off the gas a little bit. Don't need to be that intense about it.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. Yeah, we'll be fine. Jay was also saying, ever watched? That Mark's also saying that's basically what Jackson Hayes did. That was that layup. Then Jay, ever watched the Powerade high school dunk contest and a girl dunks very basic but gets all 10s? That's how the judges work. So
yes, I have seen that because it was a girl that dunked, so everyone thought, it was like, "Wow, yeah,
wow!" Like dog.
WNBA.
I don't know who says this. Jackson Hayes is not a. I don't know who needs to say this. Public service announcement. Jackson Hayes is not a woman. Controversial,
he
maybe.
Might be. At this point, I don't know. He might be.
Might be controversial.
You
never know. We'll ask. I'll get him on the podcast and I'll ask him. He'll be like those like. Who does those interviews? He does them with celebrities. I don't know. He's always very condescending the entire time, and that's.
Oh, like a short.
Yeah, he's got like short bearded guy. I think he did like Paul Rudd. He did like Jennifer, like a bunch.
Oh, Zach Galifianakis.
That's
between two ferns.
Yep. That's the one.
Yeah. How do you feel that you're not good at acting?
How do you feel about? How do you feel about men from an outsider's perspective? It's just like that kind of stuff like that. So, like, and then Adam Silver made it out. Adam Silver's here. Oh my goodness! Look at that. Adam Silver saying, "You want in the dunk contest next year? You're in. We're actually thinking of doing a Sox and Nerfs hoop format."
Yo.
All right.
I'm there.
Let's do it.
I'm there.
Get me on the. Oh my gosh, I forget the brand, but those plasticky playground little hoops. Put me on one of those little kiddie.
Little Tykes.
Bang. There
I just had this conversation with someone the other day. Little Tykes.
I forgot the brand name of those, but they're everywhere. Those, the little carts too. Like the yellow hood and the red doors. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be rolling around in that.
Heck yeah, dude.
I loved those little. Oh my gosh, man. Well, Diamond. First, I want to thank you for coming on, giving me an hour of your time. Talk Miami Dolphins. Talk.
I love it, man.
All-Star Weekend.
It's a good time.
Appreciate it. It was an excellent episode of the Primetime podcast on a Tuesday.
Yes,
we love to see it. So thank you guys for all pulling up as well as always. Adam Silver, Jay, Marcus, everybody else. Appreciate you guys. Make sure, of course, like the video. Make sure you let us know let me know what other things we're gonna do. Because actually, you know what? This is actually a perfect time to end out with a segment. Because now, all right. So, Diamond, I'm gonna have you here as witness to christen a primetime series where I have this giant thing of football cards, and my goal interview as many players I can that are from this box. And we are going to tonight pick the very first card, and you being the guest, I will have my hand around. These are all cards right here. I will go ahead.
How do I see you?
Oh, are you in the stream?
Oh, okay. I'm watching the stream now.
Yeah. Here
Hold on. I wasn't watching the stream.
I've got this box right here.
Okay.
All in here. You can be. Tell me when my finger stops. Just tell me where my finger stops. Right here. Close as I can. And I'm gonna close my. Though. We got Panthers cornerback James Bradberry. That'll be. So everybody go hit up James Bradberry. Everybody let him know.
I'm gonna go text him right now.
That I want to interview him, and he'll be the first one. He'll be the first player we'll try to get on Primetime for an interview, or maybe not on Primetime, but maybe I'll have it recorded. So we'll work something out with our boy James Bradberry. Stanford corner. So really appreciate that. That's the start of the Phil interviews players series. I don't know. I'll come up with a better name. I'm sure someone.
Nah, man, that's a sick series. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Philip White, and the Philip White plays the players. Here we go. I'm excited. So again, just thank you guys for that. I wanted to christen that. I wanted to get something I could start making those, and we'll be looking for you, James. We'll be looking for you here on Primetime. Again, thank you, Diamond. Thank you, everybody else. Have a lovely evening between then. So, because I gotta fill up the bracket, I gotta fill up the chart, and maybe even James will have already said yes by then. We're about to find out. So, who knows? Maybe I've already had something scheduled. Maybe that was all scripted. Maybe I already have it all set up. You'll never know. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys.